This podcast is brought to you by Place Pros, commercial and investment real estate, and NicoTour.boutique, your one-stop shop for everything cool.
I always want to play that game with like a duo. Like, will you know? Do you know your partner well?
Right. No, I wouldn't want to play that game. I'd be afraid.
I know, me too. It took me so long to memorize my husband's phone number.
Yeah.
That I had to actually print it on a pillow.
That's amazing.
And that did it.
Yeah.
That did it.
I got intro to a teacher group a few weeks ago, and she's like, I printed out your bio, but I don't know what I did with it.
Oh.
So I'm just going to make up stuff, and then you just roll with it. And I'm like,
No.
awesome. No, it was great. So she's like, so I'd like to introduce Jaimie Engle. She's a local writer. She's also an astronaut. And she just kept going. And then she broke. She started laughing. And she's like,
Just kidding.
Yeah. But one person did ask when the question started, they're like, so
What is it
like
space?
being- How do you juggle writing and astronauting?
Well.
Yeah, it was great. I feel like I want that intro every time. Like,
Yeah.
just make it up and we'll just roll with it and see what happens.
Just pretend. You can pretend. You're a storyteller.
It's all fiction.
All right. Are we rolling?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh,
We have Jaimie Engle with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jaimie is a screenwriter, a novelist, and a producer. The first question I have, and it's the reason why this show is here. Did you grow up here?
I did.
You did grow up here.
I've been here since second grade.
Okay. And so how did you fall into this beautiful world of writing?
Oh, that's a great question. I started writing when I was like probably 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
I fell into Shel Silverstein poetry.
Oh, I love that.
Copycat. So like I just did what he did, and I made up poems about foods I ate that I hate, and just kind of copied his style.
Yeah.
And actually my grandparents had gotten me Alice in Wonderland, and I remember reading the book, and then like there was this moment where I fell into the story.
Literally.
Yes.
Like Alice.
Yes, exactly. And it was so deep that I remember gasping, and then I was back in my bedroom. And I was like, oh, my God, I want to do that for other people. That was so cool.
Wow.
And that kind of started the bug. And then I went into the really bad poetry. And and I did a lot of fan fiction. I like to say I invented it because I took Mary Poppins and Jane and Michael on adventures.
Oh, really? So you would take characters that were already created and make
up
new...
stories.
Oh, wow.
And I think what it did for me is it was a lot easier to take one aspect of a story at a time. So I knew the characters very well, but I could, take the characters and then write a fantasy and work on, the adventure part, the actual story.
How did you know to do that?
I don't know. I mean, I did a lot of things just like innate, like that. My grandfather, he used to tell me Hulk stories. I would sit on his lap. My mom tells me I barely remember, but she said I'd sit on his lap and he'd make up these Hulk stories about the orange Hulk and the yellow Hulk and the purple Hulk, and I'd just sit there like wide-eyed, and he'd finish, and I'd say, "Tell me another one, Pop. Tell me another one," and I think that was teaching me like the pacing of a story and where people lean in and why, because I would lean in,
Oh, and you noticed that?
Well, looking back, not
okay.
then, but looking back at all the things I did, I was like, okay, that really makes sense. That was teaching me, like where to do the cliffhanger, you know, like things like that I just do. I don't think about it. I'm just like, I write it and I hear dun dun dun.
Oh my
like I
goodness.
just know that's where the chapter break,
Right?
Or that's where the
That's super
episode
interesting.
break. Yeah.
What school did you go to? Did you have any influence there?
No, I mean I went to UCF. For English, I was going to be a novelist. That was the goal.
Okay.
The first time around, and I had a teacher tell me that I was a romance writer, and I was
How
like,
did that feel?
"How dare you!" I was so mad.
Why do you think she felt that way?
Because I am. I mean, it just.
Oh.
I mean, I write fantasy and horror, but I always have that like, that relational redemption storyline underneath it, and that just that moving moment in the story. So it is very driven by a romantic element, whether it's a father-daughter or, husband-wife, boyfriend-girlfriend, like just that romance of relationship. I have that built into my storytelling.
Super cool. Yeah. Oh, but you didn't like that.
No, I was very mad at her. And
what did you see yourself as?
Like Stephen King's prodigy, obviously, like horror and fantasy and like magical realism, and that's mostly what I do write. But
okay,
but Just Jake is my first movie, and it's a rom-com.
It is a rom-com.
The first book I have traditionally published is a rom-com.
Wow, so she was right.
Yeah,
well, that's good. So let's talk about Just Jake, because that's turning into a movie.
Done. Yeah, that's all done.
Can you hold up the book?
Yeah, yeah.
Did the book come first, or did the screenplay come first?
The screenplay came first. I like to do things the wrong way.
Sure.
And make up rules. I wrote the script, and it got picked up. And when we were contracting, I asked if I could retain the book rights to exploit on my own, and then we would work out a deal.
Yeah.
Because I knew they weren't going to publish a novel. They're filmmakers. That wasn't in there, and I knew they were also going to change the script because it's a collaborative process. Sure. And it's going from, words to pictures.
Sure.
So I knew if I retained the book rights, I could always tell the exact story I wanted to tell.
Yeah,
and,
smart girl.
And then have another product to sell to another audience.
How did you hook up with like the filmmaking industry?
Ironically, I was working at the Space Coast Association of Realtors, running the social media and doing the website for new realtors. We had a new realtor day every month, and I was teaching the website portion, and I left, and this gentleman followed me out, and he said, I'm a new realtor. Could you help me with the website? I'm a little confused. I just moved here from LA. I've been in the film industry for 30 years, but I felt God leading me to build affordable housing in Cocoa, Florida. Wow. Yeah.
That's quite
and
a request.
Said, I know. And I said, oh, well, I have... I'm an author, and I've always wanted to write movies. And he said, oh, well, let me connect you with my bestie. He's an entertainment attorney in LA who happened to work on Sin City and the Kill Bill volumes and the recent Apple TV show, The Banker. So he's definitely like a legitimate attorney, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah,
right
what is happening? Because, I mean, growing up here, we don't get that. Or we did it, when I think we grew up here.
Right.
There wasn't a lot. You were either going to be a doctor, a nurse, or a teacher.
Right.
Right? So to have those opportunities is like, wow.
It was crazy. It's like a typical Hollywood story.
It totally is.
I met a guy who knew a guy, and I made a movie.
And then you made a movie. How crazy is that? It was just like happenstance, because real estate, I mean, like, you weren't there to write or sell your product. It was just, I'm pivoting.
Yeah.
I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
But during that time, you had already been a novelist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how was it going from writing books to writing a screenplay? Because it's a completely different wheelhouse.
It totally is. It's it's the same storytelling craft, but it's delivered in a completely different way.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically, I had no idea what I was doing. In December, he reached out to me, the attorney, and he said, hey, do you have any rom-coms? Like think Hallmark, strong female lead. And I had never written a movie in my life.
Right.
I write about like supernatural demons, monsters, magic, So I told him, yeah, let me just see what I have, because I'm not going to say no. Yeah, exactly. Google. And I called a friend in LA who I knew wrote rom-coms, and I said, I don't know what to do. And he said, oh, well, the Hallmark execs are teaching a class this weekend on Zoom through a school called Story Summit, and I have a coupon code. You should totally go. And I'm like, okay. Yes, please.
Oh my God.
So I went, and I took the class. It was between Christmas and New Year's.
Perfect time.
Right. And I wrote 2 screenplays in January.
Wow.
Sent them both to the producer, and mid-February they said, we want this one.
Holy cow.
And it took a year and a half to get the contract, but I mean, that was...
A year and a half for the contract. Why? Why did it take so long?
Yeah.
You're like, that's my question.
Everything takes so long.
Because you guys are just negotiating back and forth?
There's negotiating, there's timing, there's the film credits, so you have to do a lot of ducks in a row to get the state to give the funding back and the investors to see that they've got this amount dropped already. So there's a lot of that goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the stuff that you think of on your own, like location scouting and casting, that obviously takes some time too, but there's a lot of that. And then they were also in production on other movies that they were wrapping on and editing and marketing and all of that. So
that's great. And the whole time were you like, this is gonna fall through, or were you confident?
Yes, I became a sleuth detective because I didn't know who these people were and if they were real. So I went to the California like Sunbiz in California to find their corporate name. I found like an investment firm. I found one of the names. So I mean, I was I was on a mission. And I did find everybody, and it all worked out.
Good. Oh my God, crazy! And so, but before that, you were writing books. How lucrative is that?
I mean, in children's books, it's a lot of hustle because you're either with Scholastic and in the school system and getting recommended for the AR, like the Accelerated Reader Program, where the kids get points for reading.
Yeah. Or
you're in the Scholastic Book Fair, or you're in the library system. So as an indie author, it's harder to get into those places. So there's a lot of hustle. So I, did a lot of door knocking at schools and school visits and talking to kids about social issues and writing and bullying. And
so are you still self-publishing? Are you self-publishing?
I am still self-published, except for the Just Jake novel. I went with a publisher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You've won multiple awards. And you say it's stories with a magic touch. Yeah. Tell me about that. Yes.
I guess it's Twinkle.
Yeah. Right.
I want my brand to be cohesive, and if I'm writing about demons and rom-coms for Hallmark, then there has to be something cohesive. And so I think there's magic in love. There's magic in supernatural. There's magic in magical realism. There's magic in historical fiction. Magic can be defined in multiple ways. So for now, that's the brand that kind of encompasses
the magic
most of my projects.
Because that can be both.
Yeah, it sort of can go back and forth in that all of those different projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me why the demons? Like, tell me more about that. How did that come about? Because you said you didn't want to be known as a romance novelist, but so there's this other side of you.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How did you get into that?
I really like supernatural stories. I think it's just really fun to reinvent what could be going on that we can't see. So it just fascinates me. Angels and demons and werewolves and vampires and all of those ghoulies and ghosties.
Yeah.
They're just interesting.
They're totally interesting.
Yeah. And there's just a lot of really cool lore out there in different cultures.
There is.
Yeah. And so it's just fun to mess with it and just see what you can come up with.
That's super interesting. I was listening to another podcast that she was like a historian, a religious historian who, looked at all these texts about angels and stuff. And then somebody invited her to like a UFO convention. And then it clicked for her, they're talking about the same thing.
Right, that's awesome.
Have you ever thought about that?
Not that particularly, but I mean, yeah, I do see parallels in things that I just find interesting. And who's to say? No one will ever know until the end, and when we get to ask questions to somebody.
Right.
But it's fun to speculate. Like the martial law series is about a demon cowboy.
Let's pull that up.
He is a
demon cowboy.
Yeah, he's a fallen angel. He's vengeance.
But he's your hero.
He's my hero. Yeah, he's like an anti-hero, like a Venom type character. But so he read in the scripture that God said, vengeance is mine, and he's the angel of vengeance, so he takes it personally, and he thinks that with enough good deeds, he can earn his way back into God's good graces. So he is being tasked to lead the end-time witnesses through Dante's Inferno, through the 9 circles of hell, to witness all of man's sins so that they can come back to earth and kind of proclaim, y'all are messed up and you're going to, be in trouble. And so that's his thing.
Wow. Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, like side by side with the Just Jake.
Sure. And Just Jake is there's a cowboy on the cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Purely coincidental.
What do you mean?
Demon cowboy.
Oh, right.
Romantic cowboy.
Cowboy. A good cowboy and the bad cowboy.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's subliminal, because I always tell my husband that if I could like pick where I was supposed to be alive, it would be like the 1880s. Like,
really?
Like the Old West, yeah.
Why does that draw you?
I have no idea. I just feel like
maybe a past life or something.
Maybe, and I think like I wish I could go back with the knowledge I have now, because I would be like the biggest, baddest bank robber in the Old West.
Oh my gosh! And maybe you were.
Maybe I was.
That's really interesting. So, do all your novels have like a religious undertone?
A lot of them do. It's not preachy. There's no preaching, but I do have a strong faith, and it does work its way into my art.
Okay.
But in a way that most people have no clue. Like,
okay.
They wouldn't know.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
I do both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I play all the angles and try to like keep it true. Like one of my series, Dreadlands, is Norse mythology, Vikings, werewolves, and the lead boy is questioning their gods.
Okay.
And he's saying maybe there's one god, and that was historically accurate.
Right.
So I was, I just kind of play with that, and that's it. There's like one conversation. It's not anywhere else in the story, but it's just one little conversation.
So do you always go back to lore and mythology?
Yeah, it's my favorite. If I could just live in like a magical realism, historical mythology writing world, and that was all I ever wrote, I would be very content.
Interesting. And so when you're thinking about your next book, is it an idea that pops in your head, or do you have things lined up that I want to do this, I want to
it's both
explore this?
Yeah, it's both. I mean, a lot of times I have like ideas of what I'll work on next, and then I might have an idea that kind of infiltrates and takes over. And then so I then I have to decide, like, am I gonna do this book, or am I gonna write this movie, or am I gonna outline this new idea, and balancing that.
Are you continuing to write movies now then, now that your foot is in the door?
Yeah, I have a couple that are optioned in shopping agreements. Martial law is actually one of them. It's it's currently in a TV show format, but it's being optioned for development into a feature film with the producer of Stephen King's Thinner and The Stand, and the producer of Creepshow.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that one, like, lots of fingers crossed. And then I have a couple other TV shows and movies that are optioned.
Are they animated or real?
One of them is animated. We haven't gone out with that one yet. That one, I just finished the script, got my notes back from the executive producer. So this is my week to make all those changes.
Yeah.
But that one is, she's a monster producer. She's worked on tons of huge IP like SpongeBob and Ren and Stimpy.
Oh,
and
nice. So
Cat
she
in the
knows what she's
Hat.
doing.
Yeah. She's a pro, and she's very connected, and we've just worked so well together and just hit it
wonderful.
off. And, yeah,
sometimes
she's
those
amazing.
executive producer notes can really kill you.
Yeah, for sure. And you have to make a decision. Is this worth losing the deal over?
Yeah. And
How
most
important
of the time
is
it's not, right?
No, I mean, you ask, everyone has their own opinion.
Right.
But for me, I just feel like if it's going to get the deal closed and get on to the
You
next
will
project
adjust.
and give me some cred,
Yeah.
and some cash, then why would I say no?
Right. Right, because you're a
Change it.
storyteller and you can pivot, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. You've written 15 books, and they're all in this genre, the magic.
Yeah, mostly the magical realism, historical fantasy, just that mashup.
And is it for kids, for teens, for young adults?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my audience is generalized to like 5th and 6th grade, or 5th to 8th grade. Like, that's my like sweet spot.
Okay.
But it's also for adults who like those books. Like, I basically only read middle grade books or books by authors I know.
Yeah. What do you read?
Yeah, like I can't think of a single book right now, but
you're too busy writing them.
You can go to my Goodreads. I post everything
wonderful.
I'm reading, and every day I update the page of the book that I read. Like, I read 3% today, and this is my thoughts on
cool.
it. So I like to.
You'd be like a wonderful host for a book club then.
I would love to do that.
You maybe should.
I even have some books I can.
I know. Let's read my book this week.
Is that wrong?
No. You're an expert in all things storytelling. You've been in nationwide conferences. You go to schools and state libraries. Talk about that. Like, so when you are an author, you get speaking engagements, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to kind of go out and find them.
You do.
But now they're finding me, which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. I have a big one coming up, actually. I mean, by the time this airs, it'll be over. But a big Zoom through the Story Rocket group, and they're amazing. They have a platform where you can upload your book synopsis and your log line and like parts of your story and your dream cast for the movie. And if you have a script, you can upload a few pages, and they make it all seamless, so you can like talk to a producer and say, here, go to this link, and it has all my stuff.
Wow.
And you can just, it's a really cool idea. No one else is doing anything like it.
Wow. And do producers go to these things to find people like you?
They do. And the owner is a producer. She's produced for a long time, and she brings in people, and they reach out to her.
And you're a producer too. Mm-hmm. Tell me, like, what are you producing, or is it because of Just Jake?
Right now, it's because of Just Jake. I'm on that movie as a co-producer.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Very nice.
The idea was mine, so that plays into that.
Do you have any creative, decision making to do, or are you just credited?
Just credited on that movie. It was just credited,
okay.
And I think it was because, if you write the idea on spec and they buy it, then it's your movie, versus like I'm working on another movie where they reached out to me with the idea, and they hired me to create it, so I wouldn't go on as a producer in that
just
regard.
A writer.
Yeah, because all I did was write their idea. But I think when it's your idea, then you brought the project to the team, which is what producers do. I mean, one of the things producers do, as you know.
Yep.
So they listed me on there as a co-producer, which was wonderfully awesome.
Yeah, that is wonderfully awesome. So do you want to keep doing that? Mm-hmm. Are you going to put noveling to the side, or are you going to juggle it?
I don't want to, but I already have like my next step plans lined up. I've already talked to a couple of writers that I know whose work I love and said, hey, would you be interested if I gave you the synopsis, writing the book, and then I would come in and edit it like James Patterson?
Oh, wow.
And we would just split it. And so I have a few writers that are like, oh my gosh, I'd love that. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, or some of my movies, like some of my rom-coms that have been optioned, I would like to have books to go with them. So I have a writer that I'm like, if I gave you the script and you had like free reign from there, like the script will be like, 3/4 of the story, and you need to fill in all the thoughts and the backstory and the history. Would you be interested? And so,
I mean, there must be like, because usually a writer would be like, this is mine. Like there's ego involved, which you clearly don't have. You are just going down this path that is like illuminating itself along the way, and you're just like, let's go. That's
I
wonderful.
mean, I just love storytelling, and I like helping other people, and if I can combine that, that's a win. But I just want to get in the business. Like I have a movie made on TV, which is like incredibly insane,
right?
But I'm not like on Loki writing. I'm not, getting calls from Spielberg. Like, these are the things
Maybe
I want.
Someday.
Zemeckis, where you at? I'd like to do Back to the Future 4.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
I have the idea.
You do?
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. I mean, not that I know personally, but I mean, they're not doing anymore. But they're doing the musical, though. So that's awesome. Back to the Future musical is on Broadway, so that's pretty awesome.
Oh, my gosh. I wonder what that would be like.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Is it playing now?
Yeah.
Ooh, you got to go up there and watch it.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to New York?
No, I will. My cousin lives up there, and we were just talking about it. She's like, you need to come up and see the
Jaimie.
Back to the Future musical. And I'm like, set it up.
Yeah. Well, you're like all Hollywood now. You gotta
get out.
You do.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm kind of afraid of airplanes. So
tell me about it.
This is my year to face the airplane fear.
The year of the opening door mid-flight.
Yeah, let's do it. Because I'm telling you, COVID allowed me to say it's okay to be ridiculously insane and fearful. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Everyone is.
We all did it.
Yeah.
But it was also a year to be like, I might not have that much time left on this earth.
Right.
Let me do everything I ever wanted to do.
In a mask.
Or a scarf. I bought a whole bunch of scarves.
Or scarf, exactly. Yeah, so like moving out of that has been hard. Going out and not being like, well, do we want to go or do we just stay home?
Yeah.
Like, we'll just watch it on TV. We don't have to go to the theater. Just getting out of that mindset has been very difficult.
Yeah.
So,
well, the drive up there isn't so bad either.
No.
But, I mean, statistically, that's the worst option.
On a plane.
Do it.
It's the year.
When was the last time you've been on a plane?
I don't remember. It was a few years ago. It was before COVID. It was long enough.
Yeah.
I think we went to Montana to go visit family.
Yeah. The last time I was on a plane, the engine sparked and popped as we were landing, and I just like froze and went comatose. And my husband's like, "Come on, let's go."
We're on the ground. It's okay.
And I'm like, it almost felt like we died, and like the parallel split, and we're still living, but in the other one we died.
Right.
And it was freaky.
Yeah.
But you'll be fine.
I will be.
Take a pill or something.
Take a lot.
Yeah. So when you go to schools to talk to kids, what is that like? Because I think I shared with you when I was a kid at Indiana Elementary, they brought in with a storyteller.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me. And now being in television and telling reality TV stories, like I think about that and I think about how it impacted me. So you're doing that to other kids now.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's so fun to go into a room and, kids are like, old people. Like, you can just see it. And then just start talking and letting them see that, I get them. And then just saying one or two things that connect with them. And then by the time they leave, that they take something with them,
Absolutely.
Some social issue that they can handle a little better, or something about writing. Like I talked to some writers groups, and those kids just feel really excited when I read their work and go, hey, this is so good. If you do something like this here, then that'll help you, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, cool.
Little nuggets.
So you do you talk about like bullying or do you have a social aspect to it?
Yeah, a couple. My Clifton Chase and the Era of Light series, there's 2 books in that. It's about a boy from Melbourne. He finds a magic arrow and time travels.
Get out.
Yeah, he found it in Wickham Park.
Wow. So you're using Melbourne as a backdrop.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Jaimie.
It's fun. I love it. That was my first series. And, he goes to Delora Middle School where he's dealing with a bully. And the princes in history that he goes to help were bullied by their uncle. And my son was bullied when I wrote it, so we homeschooled and did archery club at Wickham Park, which is where the whole story came from.
Wow.
So I built up a package, and then for years I've gone to schools and talked to kids about bullying and empathy and, the power of their words and being the voice for somebody when maybe they can't be. And And so that's been like really rewarding. And then I decided to try it again with another story with Metal Mouth. She's a teenager. She also lives in Melbourne. And she starts hearing a boy's voice in her head after she gets struck by lightning. Her braces are transmitting it, and she doesn't know if he's real and if he is, why did the universe bring them together? Yeah. So she's trying to figure that out. And with that one, because it's about voice and like finding yourself, finding your voice, I just talked to kids about social media and how like, you can't rely on likes. You can't look at your circle. You can't look at the filters.
You can't compare.
Yeah, you have like, we are built for the opinions of maybe 100 people. Mm-hmm. Like that's it. Mm-hmm. And that's like our far-reaching scope. It's really like 3. Like I have 3 close people. Maybe 5. Handful. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Everyone else,
and it's hard to keep up with them too.
Yes. And the opinions beyond that, it's like I really don't care. And they're just like obsessed with it, and I can see it on their face. It's like, I'm so glad someone told me that. Like, I'm so glad a relief.
Yes, we were talking to this about. We just had a guest, Nyla Lois, and she's a 17-year-old girl. She came in with her mom, and she said the same thing. Like, once they got the phone, it went downhill from there. And I mean, you have 2 sons. Mm-hmm. How have you been navigating that?
Well, I mean, I have boys, so boys are just built different.
They totally
I think.
are.
I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that in this day and age, but I am. But from my experience with my friends who have daughters and my friends who have boys handle it differently. And not to say that some boys aren't overly affected. Like my older son was bullied. He's more sensitive. He definitely internalized things more.
Right.
But my younger son, he's a football player, both of them. Ezra and Anderson, they're football players. You know, they just take the social media. Their problem is they post things that they shouldn't. Mm-hmm. Like things that we all did and said when we were their age.
Like out there.
Yeah, and I'm like, how are you ever going to be president? Like, come on. You got to think about these things. Get that off of your Snapchat.
Right. Is that where they're at these days?
Snapchat and TikTok. Yeah.
And you let them have their own handles and everything?
I do. I try to follow them, but then they
block you.
No, they create fake accounts apparently. But my older son, who's 23, he's friends with him, so he'll be like, "Hey, Mom, did you know?" Yeah, so
that's wonderful.
I mean, that's not true. Just kidding. It doesn't happen.
Nope, never happened.
No, I mean, only if it's bad stuff. You know, like if it's really something I need to know about. But yeah, I mean, we talk to our kids about everything. I think that's another difference from our parents. 15, 16, and 20. Or sorry, 16, 16, and 23. We just had a birthday.
Twins?
No, we just had a birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
That's still weird.
Ezra turned 17 in May, and Anderson just turned 16 in February.
So your pregnancy was short?
No. He's my my faux son.
Oh, okay. Yes,
He's my adopted love.
Okay, makes more sense now.
My unofficially unadopted third child.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how is teenagehood going for them?
They're having a blast. They're really good kids. They're crazy. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're a little obnoxious and even borderline vile.
Yeah.
But they make
smelly.
me laugh. Well, yeah, they do smell, but their mouths, like some of the things. Like, I realized it's our fault, our generation, because we were the generation that required the explicit language lyrics.
Yeah.
So we only had like 3 bands that had explicit lyrics.
Yeah.
Like that was it. Like
but that's
2
where
Live
you went.
Crew, you know, like that was it. And now like we accepted that as normal music. Mm-hmm. So when they listen to stuff or watch TikTok and like everyone's language is awful, I'm just kind of like, can you not say that around me?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it coming out of your beautiful lips. Those foul words.
Yeah.
Okay. Do what you want, but
you can't punish them for using language.
It's the world that we live in, and it's funny because it doesn't bother us, like us Gen X parents as much, because we were the ones that brought it into mainstream.
Right. But I think it's more of like, you don't know what your employer's going to, you need to
tone it down,
and they need to button up in certain occasions, right?
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
No F-bombs on your applications.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a little bit opposite. Like my daughter, I have a potty mouth, and she somehow just knows not to use it, or like maybe she sees me and she's like, what a weirdo. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So. I have a little bit of... I wanted to make a T-shirt that says, I love Jesus and F-bombs. Just so people know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat.
That's so you.
Yeah. It is.
You should just do that. Sell those. You were on a TV show as an alien.
I was.
Tell me about that.
I was an alien on a show called Sequest in the 90s when... Orlando used to be very active for film and television production. Yeah. So I did a lot of commercials and television shows and a lot of work out there. I had an agent, Brevard Talent Group. They're in Orlando now, but they still work with locals. And
okay. So like your dip into Hollywood isn't new?
No. I got bit a long time ago.
Okay.
I just wasn't a very good actress.
But you played an alien for several of the episodes.
Yeah, and I was in like a full bodysuit, and they zipped up the back. So like,
did you have lines?
No, I didn't say anything, and I didn't like. I remember I couldn't like eat or drink like the whole time because it was such a pain to zip and unzip. So I mean it was a wreck. Like when I got home, I remember waking up in the middle of the night panicked because my pillow was on my face and I thought I was back in the mask. Like it was traumatic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But I did meet Jonathan Landis. Is that his name?
I used to have a crush.
Everybody
on
did.
him,
Yeah, he was
got
so
to
cute.
Meet him.
Well, he hit on me. We were at the craft services table.
Get out of town.
I didn't know who he was. I was just hungry.
Jonathan
and
Landis.
I mean, Jesse knows me. I'm food focused. and like I'm sitting there trying to eat, and he's like hitting on me, and I'm like, bro,
trying to eat. Jonathan Landis.
Yeah.
Oh, he was like the teen
really
bop
cute.
idol of everything.
Yeah, he was like.
But now he's like acting in TV.
No, I think he passed a while ago. Yeah,
okay.
Under bad circumstances, honestly.
Like I was just watching something like about the two Coreys.
Yeah, that's a different podcast.
It is, yeah.
But Jonathan is like the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he was the OG Leo, and then Leo
like
came around and
stole our hearts.
Stole everybody's
you,
heart. Oh my gosh. But you're not acting anymore.
No, I mean I would like to. It was recommended to me that I'm not bad looking.
Yeah, beautiful.
Not bad looking, so you should negotiate in your future contracts a very small speaking role.
Oh, you should totally do that.
That's what I said. I'm like, that's a great idea.
Great idea. Thank you. I'll take that. But your son is also in theater, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. My oldest son, Lucas, works in Sarasota at the Florida Theater Studio in downtown.
Oh, my gosh.
He has his degree in theater and his minor in theater management.
Wow. Yeah. So you're taking it to the next generation.
Yes.
So is he in plays?
Yeah, he's in plays there, and then he's always auditioning because it's a contract, so it's going to expire at some point.
Why Sarasota?
That's just the theater that picked him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He auditioned to a bunch of places.
Even locally?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's worked at Henniger. He's worked at Titusville. Yeah. He's done both of those for years throughout high school. And
what kind of roles does he get?
Mostly he is in the singing and acting and dancing, background.
He's got
the chorus. It's not called a chorus, but I can't remember what it's called right now. But he's probably yelling at me listening to this. Like, Mom, this is called the and he's had small speaking roles. He doesn't really care about being the lead. Like he who wouldn't want to be, but in the same sense, he's like, I just like being on stage. It's a lot of lines. It's a lot of commitment. Yeah. So he's understudying right now. He's learning that. He's learning auditioning because it's like a paid internship.
Oh, wow.
So they're teaching them all of those aspects of theater, not just the, get on stage like you've already done before.
Right.
So he's enjoying it.
Very nice.
It's a lot. It's a long day.
Does he see himself going up to Broadway someday?
I mean, he would love that.
Okay.
But I don't know how that looks. I don't know what that path looks like.
Oh, it's just put your clothes in a bag and go.
Yeah, it's got to be a really hard door to bust in, but...
No, but it's not, though, right? I mean, it is because we're conditioned to think that way.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
But if you would have never followed your dreams, if I would have never packed my bags, I wouldn't be here either. I would be a nail tech down the street,
I'd hire you.
Totally fine.
I was the worst like you'd be really fun to
nail
talk to.
tech in the world, man. I actually did that... I graduated high school and got my nail tech degree at the same time, and I used it in college, but I always wanted more, you know.
Totally.
And I just think growing up here, you weren't fed that. So I love meeting someone that found their way, and is passing it along to their kids.
Well, I mean, you could do that here as a side hustle because this is really all you do with clients when you're doing their nails. It's just chit chat.
Just chit chatting.
So you could add that on. We'd like to do an interview. If you want to add $40, you can have your nails.
You can put it on live. Oh my gosh! But I was a terrible nail tech. I couldn't do it. But it took me going to New York because back then you couldn't get a peep out of me.
Right.
When I was actually doing nail tech, so I think you have to go out into the world. Get your hustle on.
Yeah. He's starting his hustle, and so we'll see where it goes from here.
But you're saying you used to go to Orlando. Do you think that it's sort of fallen off a little bit?
Yeah, they left Orlando years ago. We're working to get the film incentives back, like the breaks for the investors. John Lux is the executive director of Film Florida, and I'm on the legislative committee with that organization, and just trying to get all the legislators to see that all of these other states are making money off these tax breaks by bringing in these film companies who are hiring dry cleaners and restaurants and hotels, catering. And they're spending catering. They're spending all this money in the cities and states because they get tax breaks, and Florida doesn't have that anymore.
Why not? What happened?
I have no idea.
So it used to be here.
And they were like literally moving LA to Florida, like getting out of LA, and then it was over.
Weird. Did that coincide with COVID or?
No, this was like late 90s.
Oh.
Like early 2000s at the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yep. So we're, Atlanta has a booming film industry. North Carolina. I mean, a lot of places that film in Florida on their scenes, they're not shot in Florida. I mean,
well, didn't Brad Pitt just come to down here to
I think
film?
like in Tampa. I think that's what
it
I want
was.
to say.
No, we had gone there on a girls' weekend. That either the day before he came or something.
Well, whoops!
Where the heck did I go?
Totally planned that wrong.
I can't think about it. I know, right? Although, like, I don't know. After the Angelina scandal, I'm like, you're kind of a creep, I guess. Right?
But it's still some eye candy.
Yeah, I could
popcorn
just. And he did something to his face where he looks brand new.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, why not?
You got to do what you got to do.
You can do his nails on the podcast.
I'm done with that job, Jaimie.
Sorry, I really want my nails done.
Oh my God. I'll treat you to a mani-pedi. We'll go get it done.
So you had said earlier about awards. And I think I can announce this now because it's going to be like out then. But there is a podcast called the Swing My Heart Podcast.
Okay.
And they are like all Hallmark romance rom-coms.
Good Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
They capture you like none other.
Yes. So that's what they do. So they interview the stars. They interview the directors. And I was a guest, as the writer. And anyway, they do an annual contest, People's Choice, and Just Jake won for best non-Hallmark, non-Christmas movie because it's most of the time it's a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Oh yeah, so you need a new category.
Yeah, but there was a lot of other movies that weren't Christmas, weren't Hallmark, and out of all those movies, we won.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations!
Yeah, thank you.
And where can we see your movie?
It's on Up TV, Faith and Family Network.
Okay.
So if you go through like Amazon and you type in Just Jake, like your Amazon Prime, it'll take you to download this app.
Oh.
5-day free trial usually.
Easy
you know how they
peasy.
are.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like family friendly programming.
Oh, that's nice.
Like sweet and comfortable programming.
Yeah.
Not family friendly like let's watch Sesame Street together.
No.
But like Little House on the Prairie and the old
Full
school
House.
Nick at Night, Full House, those kinds of shows.
Oh, I miss those.
Yeah.
They don't make those anymore.
Well,
they
Full
do
House,
now.
Fuller House.
I know, but
It's
it
not
wasn't the
same.
same.
No. Sorry guys,
Yeah,
it wasn't the same.
I know.
We appreciate it, but it just wasn't.
I know. Not without the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
They're too good for us.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and younger sister.
We gotta wear their clothes now.
Yes, and the younger sister of the Olsen twins.
Oh yeah,
she's blown up. I don't know her name, but she's blown up.
Ugh.
She's awesome.
Yeah. She's got that Olsen look to
Yep.
her.
Mm-hmm.
You like to kickbox.
I do.
Where do you do that at?
At South Beach Fitness.
Okay.
I do their Les Mills classes.
Okay.
So I kickbox like 3 times a week. They call it body combat.
Ooh.
And then I do they have like a mix of not Zumba, sorry, I do that too. I do that 3 times a week. They have a mix of like Tai Chi, Pilates, and yoga.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very
I do that
good.
like 3 times a week too, and it's
Keep you in shape. Awesome. And can you kick someone's ass?
if there's music playing. I always
So
say,
only attack Jaimie if there's music playing.
I told my husband, I go, what's going to happen is someone's going to like jump me and I'm
Yeah.
going to be like, and they're going to run because they're going to be like, this lady's crazy.
I messed with the wrong
messed
lady.
with the wrong lady. So
That's so funny.
that's the plan.
But what a good thing to have under your belt. And you also like to bake.
I do.
What do you bake?
I bake weird grain-free treats.
How do you do that?
And nobody in my house eats but me, and it's fabulous.
Do you sell them anywhere?
No, my
just
mom
for
says
you.
I should, and
Yeah.
I'm just not ready
People
yet.
want the grain-free.
They do. They're delicious for me. Like if you bite into an Entenmann's chocolate cake donut straight out of the freezer, and it melts in your mouth.
Yeah.
It has a little chemical aftertaste, and you're
Yeah.
like, this is so good. And then you bite into my chocolate donut, you will spit it out. If you just bite into mine,
it'll be fine.
it's just like a chocolate Entenmann's donut.
Gosh.
That's the key.
That's the key.
But it's almond flour.
Almond flour.
I have all kinds of flowers. I have a whole pantry.
Who knew there was so many flowers out there? Yeah.
I like the coconut flour. I bought a cookbook, and it breaks down all the different flours and what you should use and when and why your bread sucks because you're using the wrong flour.
That is a whole other.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing, but it's your side passion.
Yeah, and I like left it the week of Christmas cookies this year. When my mom came over and we made the Just Jake cookies that are in the book.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you put your baking knowledge into your books?
Yeah, the Just Jake one has the there's a QR code in the back of the book that takes you to my website, and you can download the cookie recipe. You can see all.
Why? Because Jake made them.
They're in the book. Yeah. With the mom, like it's their family tradition. It's our family tradition.
Of course it is.
Yeah, so I put my great grandmother's cookie recipe in there.
Oh my gosh.
And then we have behind the scene photos from the movie, and you can click a link to buy the theme song that Rob Mays wrote, who played Jake. So there's all kinds of cool stuff you get when you buy the book, but. Yeah, so this year we made those cookies, and I haven't really stopped since. Like breaking the sugar and the flour thing. Yeah.
Can you do cakes with that?
I can do anything. Oh yeah, you can do anything.
Okay.
And I can do anything I want. I can eat anything. I'm not allergic, but I just find that like I feel different when I eat regular flour. Like I don't think as straight. The thoughts from the head to the mouth don't come out as well.
Right.
I'm sleepier. I don't sleep at night as like
smoothly.
Yeah. A lot of things.
I was such a junkaholic, like just junk food all the time. My favorite treat was like a McDonald's, like a breakfast, big breakfast. And then around COVID time, I was like, let me rethink just about everything in my life. And I stopped eating all that stuff, and it just doesn't appetize me anymore.
No.
Like even when you're talking about the donut, like
the chemical aftertaste.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
So my daughter's always asking me to take her to McDonald's. I'm like, do you know what they put in that food?
Do you want to really go there?
Yeah, no, I won't take her there. Yeah. I'm the worst mom ever, and I don't have cereal in the house.
Well, I have cereal in the house, but I don't take my kids to McDonald's ever.
I tell her, I'm like, what? Why would I want to poison you? I don't.
Yeah, I haven't eaten, and nothing against McDonald's.
Everything against
McDonald's. I haven't eaten McDonald's since I was like 18 years old.
Yeah,
maybe 19.
It's been a while, but for the good.
I feel good. I feel good
about it. And then when you do actually eat something in that realm, like we went to Chick-fil-A the other day. And my stomach's like, what the fuck are you doing to me?
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. It doesn't work anymore.
Because you got different bugs in there now. And they're like, we don't want that. We don't want that.
Yeah.
So, good. What else? What else do we not know about you?
Well, I mean, I just celebrated a birthday.
Oh,
I'm an Aquarius.
Birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, how are you liking this age of truth?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, you're not into it?
No, but I think it's appropriate that I'm an Aquarius and I don't like the water. I don't like the ocean.
I don't like it either.
Sharks.
Man. Yeah, it's too wet out there.
I just feel like if God wanted me in the air or the water, he'd have supplied me with different things.
Yeah, so no planes, no boats. You ever go on cruises?
Oh, I'm the dog sitter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I know who to call.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I never leave anyway.
Yeah.
Do you have any dogs?
I have 2 dogs.
What kind of dogs you got?
I have a hound mix. She's an old lady named Ahsoka.
Oh, where'd you get that name from?
Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she has her own show now. And then we just got a new puppy. She's a Boston Terrier.
Oh.
And she was Anderson's litters, one of the puppies in his litter, my new son Anderson.
Oh.
And her name was Fart because she was like 2 inches and she looked like a turd.
Like a little turd.
And they would send me videos of Fart outside.
Not that she farts.
No. And she was the cutest thing I ever saw. And she's like white and she's got like brown spots and she looks like a cow. And I'm like, that's awful. Her name is Little Moo. And I'm like, I want to meet Little Moo. I want her to come see me. And then so this is me. They're harassing me with these fart photos. And then Ezra goes to my husband, Mom really likes this dog. I think it might be a nice gift for Christmas.
And they did
not this past Christmas, but the year before. So he totally used both of us to get this dog in our lives.
But you wanted that dog.
I didn't. I did not want another heartbeat in my house. However, I would kick everybody out for her.
Oh, my goodness.
I will say it to the camera. She is my favorite Engel.
Watch out, kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they know.
Watch your step.
We have a very unhealthy relationship. I'm not.
I mean, that's the healthiest kind.
I'm that lady now that I used to make fun of with the little dog.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I am her.
You're her.
I don't know how.
Do you have a purse?
No.
Any clothing?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you need to step it up, Jaimie.
Okay.
You need some clothing for that dog.
Oh, yeah. She has like a puffer jacket.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Rainbow stripes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta give them their own wardrobe. Although it's hot here in Florida.
It is.
My dog just celebrated her birthday yesterday. We just got her a bunch of clothes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta step it up.
Super cool. Well, how can we find you online?
I am everywhere at Jaimie Engle Writes on social media. My website is jaimieengle.com.
Okay.
I am most active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And YouTube. I am building my YouTube channel.
Yes.
So I'm inviting everyone to come. I post on Tuesdays. I try to do a nice long form video. On Thursdays, I try to do a throwback Thursday, like from the Just Jake film set.
Oh, wonderful!
Cute little video. And every Friday, I do my Friday Wins for the Week dance. It's taken off. I've tried to stop. I've gotten yelled at by people I don't know. So naturally, I will cater to them. Exactly. It's my thing. It inspires people.
Yeah.
So it's hard being a creative.
Yeah.
It is a long journey before you see anything growing from that seed you planted. And half the time it's half dead.
But look at you.
So that is what I do. I dance and I point and I write in words of all my wins for the week to say, hey, listen, this week I wrote every day. This week I had a producer meeting. This week I was on the Space Ghost podcast.
There you go. Any tips for young budding writers or old writers that just decided to do it?
Go to my YouTube channel because there's lots of free videos. But just write. Just write and don't judge what you're writing.
Writes, right?
Yeah. I've heard it said by several people now, but don't judge your beginning by someone else's middle.
Yes.
It's really easy to do that. Important. It's really easy to read a book and be like, I can never write like that. No, you can't. You
Not
in
right
5
now.
years can,
or
you with an editor can,
yeah.
But you can't. So just write what you can.
Okay. Very good. And are you doing any workshops or anything? Do you do that?
Yes, I have tons. I mean, like I said, I've got one this weekend, but this will be past tense by the time people are listening.
Right. But you got future ones.
Yeah. If you go to my website, I'm always somewhere doing something.
Super
half
cool.
of them are free, open to the public. So I post everything where I'm going to be.
Very, very cool and very inspiring. Thank you for coming. This was so awesome.
It was fun. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Come back if you ever need to promote something.
I will, or if I need my nails done.
Yes, I'll bring my kit next time. Thank you so much, Jaimie.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Have a great one.
You too.
Yay.
To be a sponsor or nominate a guest, hit us up on Instagram at local_celebrity_brevard. Until next time, goodbye.